Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. And in today's Cephalabon contributor video, I'm going to be going over 10 fragrances that are festive. These are holiday fragrances. I feel really cozy when I wear them. For some reason or another, they definitely remind me of the holiday season. And so I love wearing them right around this time of the year. And of course, you also have the opportunity to enter to win a bottle of one of many fragrances in this list. There are going to be multiple draws for select bottles from the list. All of the information is going to be down below in the description box. I'm excited to get this video underway, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video of my top 10 favorite holiday/festive fragrances, I let you know what they are, and I also let you know what you can do to enter for your chance to win a full-size bottle of one of the fragrances that are part of the draw. I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Also, make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon. And give this video a thumbs up if you like this type of content. So right around this time of the year, I love my holiday, spicy, boozy, warm, resinous fragrances. And I have a lot of those in this list. And of course, you have the opportunity to try and even own one of these fragrances by going on over to cephalabon.com. I'm going to leave a link to the article down below. Make sure that you are a registered reader. Read through the article, leave a quality comment, and you are going to be entered to win. As you can see down below and on the website, there are going to be several bottles from this list that are eligible for the giveaway, so good luck. There are going to be multiple winners announced, so make sure to go on over to cephalabon.com once more at the end of the draw to see if you are one of the lucky winners. So let's go ahead and get this list started. So the first fragrance that I want to talk about is actually a newcomer, but there is a predecessor that I would like to mention as well. So this one from the company Guerlain Paris is called Apple Brandy. Now, of course, if you want the fragrance that's currently on the market and that you can find, it's Apple Brandy on the rocks. So this one has that bergamot essence in the opening. It has this pineapple note in it as well. And this one actually does smell quite similar to Apple Brandy. Of course, I purchased this quite some time ago when it first came out. I absolutely love Apple Brandy, but Apple Brandy on the rocks is also very, very good, very refreshing. That spicy component in here with the boozy touches really remind me of the holiday season. A very festive fragrance, and it happens to be one of my favorites. Now, of course, when I think of this time of the year, I think of the pine trees, I think of the pine resin, the gum or sap, and especially when we're out getting, Christmas trees and you touch the tree and you get the resin on your fingers. And there are a couple of fragrances that remind me of that, but one of them is photorealistic, and I love how natural and organic this smells. By the company Tom Ford, this is called Vertin Sans. I love this fragrance so much. I have been wearing it for the past couple of years, right around this time of the year. I will need to get a new bottle eventually, but I really, really love Vertin Sans, especially if you're looking for a warm, deep, resinous, balsamic fragrance that just comes across smelling quite rich in terms of its olfactive texture. Vertin Sans is a superb selection. The next fragrance that I would like to talk about is one that's a little bit darker, and of course right around this time of the year when it gets really, really cold out, especially here in New Jersey where I live, it has a tendency of getting quite cold. One fragrance that I look forward to wearing a lot, and it does remind me of the holiday season so much, is Alexandria 3 by Xerjoff. So this fragrance has apple, it has cinnamon, it has some woodsy notes. Of course, there's also agarwood in here. And in comparison to Alexandria 2, I actually find this one to be not as tart in the opening on account of the apple and the citrus. I actually find this one to be a little bit darker, with the agarwood being a little bit more prominent. So I personally love this one. I have done a comparison video as well, so feel free to check that out if you're interested. But Alexandria 3 is an amazing fragrance. Absolutely love it. The next fragrance that I'd like to talk about is another fragrance that features a pine note, just like Vertin Sans, but this one doesn't go into incensey territory. This one actually goes into fruity territory, and that's because it also has a note of strawberry in it. Another fragrance that I picked up some time ago, and I have been wearing this one a lot. I'm also going to need to get a new bottle of this one very soon, and this one by Imaginary Authors is called Heartache. I love these Imaginary Author selections with the quirky titles. I think Josh Meyer, as an independent perfumer, is really talented at what he does. And of course, the notes for this fragrance are conveniently located on the back. You have Douglas fir, pine resin, western hemlock, vanilla leaf, strawberry, and imaginary notes of old growth and mountain fog. Really unique fragrance. I've been praising it for many years now. The next fragrance that I'd like to mention is a newcomer to my collection, and that's because it was just released about a month ago. From Navitus Parfum, this one is called XO Brandy. Now, I am the founding creative director for Navitus Parfum, but this was actually a collaboration between Navitus Parfum and Buck from the channel Big Beard Business. This has coffee, brandy, spices, sandalwood. It goes in a dark direction, but there's this flavorful sweetness about it. It's also richly balsamic. It's so flavorful, and it actually does remind me a little bit of that balsamic richness you'll get in Vertin Sans, but it goes in a completely different direction. That brandy is so delicately spiced. The perfumer for this one is Sidonie Lancaster, an incredibly talented perfumer. I look forward to meeting her in person one day. I'm a huge fan of her work. Now, speaking of boozy, there's another boozy fragrance that also has a cognac accord, and the fragrance is called Amber Aquilaria by Electamus London. Now, of course, as the name implies, there are some ambery tones. You'll get a touch of vanilla, benzoin, labdanum perhaps. Even though they might not be listed in the note breakdown, they do comprise an amber accord. And then Aquilaria, that's the species that agarwood is a part of. So you do get a heaping amount of agarwood in the base, but it's not a barnyard type of agarwood. It's not animalic. They do have another animalic fragrance. It's called Fortuna. But this one, the cognac, the booze, it just really reminds me of the holidays. Very cozy, especially if you're indoors, sitting in front of a fireplace. You see the snow falling. You have some of your favorite music playing in the background at a lower volume. Beautiful fragrance. And then, of course, another dark fragrance that I personally love. This one is a tobacco-based fragrance, and this one is called Red Tobacco by Mancera. So with this fragrance, you also have this honeyed accent about it that I think is really nice, really flavorful, and it kind of drenches the tobacco leaf in this beautiful way. Also has a hint of spice in there, perhaps not as spicy as some of the other selections from this list, but Red Tobacco is a favorite of mine, and it has been a favorite for quite some time now. Now we're getting into the top three, and I should also mention that these are in no particular order. It really all depends on my mood and how I'm feeling on that given day. But the other fragrance that I wanted to mention, and I was going to go with Manhattan by this brand, the brand being Roja Parfum, but Manhattan is all sold out. It was a limited edition release, but there is another fragrance that I love wearing this time of the year, and that is evidenced by the fact that I have actually worn it this time of the year in the past couple of years, and this one is called Creation E, otherwise known as Enigma. So this is the Eau de Parfum Pour Homme. I also do have the Parfum Cologne version, and I also have the original paper label version. So I actually have three fragrances. I purchased all of them. I love this fragrance so much. The cognac, the spices, the florals, the woods. This is the most complex fragrance so far in this entire list. And so if you're looking for something that is very rich, enigmatic, deep, complex, you're gonna love this fragrance, and I personally love it. So Creation E by Roja Parfum is an amazing fragrance to check out. The fragrance coming in the number 2 spot as per this list, of course it all depends on my mood, but I love Side Effect by Inicio Parfum. So this fragrance has the rum. You can see there's kind of a theme here, right? A lot of boozy ingredients in all of these. This one has the rum, it has the cinnamon, it has the vanilla, it has the hedione. It's just a very gentle yet sophisticated and sweet, romantic, suave kind of a fragrance. You know, I know so many people have already had the opportunity to try Side Effect, and so I'm glad that you've had gotten the opportunity to get your nose on it, but I love Side Effects so much. And if you haven't tried it yet, I would highly encourage you to go out there and check it out. And the fragrance that I have reserved for the #1 spot in this list is a fragrance that I have been wearing now for several years. When I first picked it up a few years ago, I remember just falling in love with the complexity of the aroma, the way that it's gently spiced with the cinnamon, these vanilla touches. It also has this sort of exotic and sweet nature about it, and just that coziness that it conveys is perfect for this time of the year, especially as the temperatures start to drop. And of course, this is a fan favorite, and for very good reason. A lot of people have sung really high praise about it. By Parfum de Marly, this is called Eau à Jean. Now, Eau à Jean is in many ways similar to Apple Brandy on the Rocks. Eau à Jean came first. Eau à Jean is this beautiful combination of vanilla and spices. You have the cinnamon. It at times reminds me of Ambre Narguilé by Hermès, but in terms of the performance, they're so different. This one is going to get you nuclear longevity and projection. You are going to get noticed, and it kind of smells like a hot toddy. So if you know what that smells like, that's kind of what it reminds me of. It has a little bit of a boozy complexity about it. Of course, spices are used in the fermentation of certain alcoholic spirits. So kind of by default, whenever you add spices to a fragrance, it can kind of give it a boozy vibe. And I kind of get that from all of these fragrances, but there is a booze ingredient explicitly mentioned in the note breakdown of many of these fragrances, including Apple Brandy on the Rocks, XO Brandy, Amber Aquilaria, Side Effect, Creation-y. But these are fragrances that I absolutely love. I hope you have the opportunity to sample them or purchase them soon. And of course, you also have the chance to enter to win a full-size bottle of the bottles that are eligible in this draw. Again, all you have to do is follow the link down below to cephalabon.com, go over to the website, leave a quality comment, and make sure to enter, because there's going to be multiple winners. That means you have a better chance of having your comment be selected and you going home with the bottle. So thank you for watching. I love you all. I appreciate you all. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. 60% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed to me. Let's do what we can to change that. It would really mean a lot to me. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you took something of value from today's episode. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you next time.